good Thursday afternoon to you from the KXAN Plus studios. I'm Billy Gates, and we are here to talk about our KBVO Game of the Week and our KXAN Plus Game of the Week on our high school football preview show. Here to talk about it is the man behind the mic for tonight's game. It's Roger Wallace, KXAN Sports Director, and Roger, you're headed out to the field again. They got to have a parking spot for you there by now, right?
I know exactly where to go. I'm going to cut you a little break here, Billy. I know you're struggling a little bit with your voice.
In case you can't tell, I've got something going on in here.
So we're going to be at the field for a district matchup, Elgin and Pflugerville, and this is one of those games, Billy, where you look at the schedule. When we put our schedule together, Elgin was coming off a 6-win season. They won their first playoff game in 10 years. And it looked much better in the summer than now for some circumstances. They lost some key players, a coaching change. Heath Clausen went to Woodville. Rich Lucero elevated to the head coach, and he's fighting the numbers game. He's fighting the injury bug with his team. So it certainly has been a struggle for the Wildcats, taking on a really talented Pflugerville team led by their quarterback, Cole Taylor, the son of head coach Charles Taylor. He's an outstanding quarterback. He's an outstanding baseball player. They come in at 3-1 and putting up big numbers offensively. So it's kind of one of those matchups where for football fans and for us, hoping that this thing can stay close, Elgin can hang with Pflugerville, because we're just realistic with this matchup. It's been a struggle for Elgin. And talking with Rich Lucero, he likes what he's building. He said the numbers are good at the sub-varsity level. They built a new indoor complex. They've raised money for the program, but right now just kind of struggling through one of those years where it's kind of been that avalanche effect of a few things go wrong. You lose some key players, and it's a fight. And so we'll be there, 7:30, 11-5A Division II matchup at the field in Pflugerville tonight, 7:30 over on KBVO. There are some other pretty good matchups tonight, Billy. Yeah, there are, and we'll get to them here. Actually, we'll get to them right now. So let's just go over Elgin and Pflugerville. I combined the two together. Elgin, Pflugerville, 7:30 at the field. Last week, Elgin lost to McCallum 45-14, and Pflugerville pounded on Navarro 62-20. These other games that are Thursday night, some good ones. Lake Travis versus Bowie. That's at Dripping Springs. In case you haven't heard, we've talked about this on this preview show at length. Lake Travis is undergoing some sort of $20 million renovation at Cavalier Stadium, so the rest of their home games are out at Dripping Springs this season. Bastrop plays McCallum at House Park. They're downtown, just down the street from our station here. And then Colleen Chaparral is at Cedar Park. Roger, obviously, that Lake Travis Bowie game, that's got some potential. Yeah, I like that one for sure. It's going to be, life on the road for Lake Travis. Yeah, we saw Bowie lose a close one to Vista Ridge. I think they're gonna have a tough time hanging with Lake Travis. Sure. They're pretty good, but yeah, as far as that district goes, that's a big ball game. And then you mentioned McCallum and Bastrop at House. McCallum lost to Anderson, and they were outmatched in that opener when we had it on the first Thursday night of the season. But since then, they've won 3 straight, and usually Thomas Gammerdinger teams get better and kind of figure things out. They were trying to figure some things out on offense. Bastrop's a really talented team with their fine junior quarterback, Wes Nielsen. So that one obviously will go a long way in the district race. And then you mentioned the one Cedar Park and Colleen Chaparral. That'll be at Gupton Stadium tonight. That's certainly a key district ball game on this night, and then big one tomorrow night at Gupton Stadium too. Yeah. KBVO tonight, Elgin, Pflugerville, 7:30. Roger Wallace, Keith Moreland, and Levon Whitaker all on the call. And speaking of Friday, let's shift gears to Friday. No Westlake game. Yeah, we get 2 on the Wallace Moreland broadcast. Yeah. No Westlake game on Friday. They're on a bye week, and then they'll play Thursday next week. We'll get to that later. Since we're putting games on KXAN Plus all the time now, we found a replacement for the Westlake game. It's Round Rock versus Cedar Ridge, 7 p.m. on Friday at the Palace on Palmer Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex. The Dragons coming 31-17 win over McNeil, and then Cedar Ridge beat Westwood 41-30. We'll get back to these other games in a second, Roger. like you said, you're going to be out there and calling that game. I mean, you're a Round Rock guy. You're a Round Rock resident, like right across the street from Dragon Stadium. Just kind of give me the down low on this game.
Well, it was surprising to see Round Rock 0-3 going into their game last week against McNeil. So they got things going. Their head coach, Cody Moore, told us that they needed that, obviously, in the standings, but a little bit of belief when you've got a program that's not really used to struggling like they have, and then they got the win. They really had trouble closing games. They couldn't. They couldn't close against Vista Ridge and lost that one, and then one of the other non-district losses as well. So big for both teams. Cedar Ridge gets a district win, so they're both sitting with 1-1. And when you look at that district, this one could go a long way in deciding what happens in 25-6A. And that will be tomorrow night at the Palace at 7 o'clock. And always some good talent on both of those teams. Cedar Ridge has a new head coach, Brian Vardaman. He came from Flower Mound, a longtime assistant coach, and said he had no real connections to Central Texas, but knew about Cedar Ridge, the tradition. A guy like Deuce Vaughn's name resonates. Yeah. And his wife has family here, so he jumped on the chance to come down here. Vardaman was a DB for Oklahoma State. He has some bad memories of Austin. He was on that Cowboys team in 2004 that came down to Austin, had a big league at the half, and then got just dump truck by Vince Young and company at Royal Texas Memorial Stadium. But he's taken over. It's a proud program that they're a little bit down this year. But again, the winner of that one comes out 2-1 in district play, and that'll be a key win. And then also a big one over at Gupton Stadium in that district tomorrow night.
Yeah, so let's take a look at those other games on Friday. I could only fit 3 on the slide here. Aikens is at Dripping Springs. Aikens is kind of your feel-good story this season. I mean, granted, they haven't really played very many competitive teams. They're 4-0, though. That's the most wins they've had in a long time. So they're headed out to Dripping Springs. Dripping Springs, they're ranked in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football 6A poll, number 13. We'll get to all those rankings here in a second. Vandegrift is at Vista Ridge. That ought to be a good one. And then Hendrickson plays Weiss at the Field. That game also is going to be good.
Yeah, I think that's going to be good. I think it's going to be entertaining, high scoring. We saw Hendrickson and Hayes play a wild one a couple of weeks ago on KBVO. And then, Weiss has just been lighting up the scoreboard. They put up 77 last week. So I think that'll be an entertaining game. I had someone ask me, hey, if I wanted to go to a high school game on Friday night, and it didn't matter where, that was at the top of my list to go out there. I think it's entertaining. Obviously, it's an easy stadium to get in and out of. So, yeah, that should be a fun one tomorrow night at the Field.
Yeah. Alrighty, as promised, we're going to go over the latest Dave Campbell Texas Football 6A rankings here. Not much has changed. Well, not much of the top spot anyway. Southlake, Carroll, they're still your number 1 team. Allen moves up from number 4 to number 2. Humble Summer Creek, they're at 3. Fort Bend Ridgepoint, a former Westlake non-district opponent from a couple years back, they're number 4. And then Lake Travis, they're at number 5. They moved up a couple spots from number 7. And now, like we've been saying, they're going to be technically on the road the rest of the season. They're playing their home games at Dripping Springs. Go down the rankings here. You got Westlake, they're at 10. They're idle, of course. Dripping Springs, as we mentioned, number 13. And then Vandegrift, they're at 16. North Crowley, that's rough. You lose one game and you drop from number 3 to number 21.
Well, as we know, rankings don't mean much.
That's true. That is true. I mean, you can ask Duncanville that too. They went from number 2 to number 12 after losing to Waxahachie, and that game was bonkers. Like, Waxahachie scored with like 30 seconds left, and that game was crazy. But I mean, are there any more games around the Central Texas area, Roger, that we're kind of keeping our eyes on?
Well, East Side's a great story again. They don't have a much tradition, but they're playing Travis, and I think they have a very legitimate chance to get back to the playoffs if you're looking for one of those stories. San Marcos and Buda Johnson, just because of the proximity, they'll play at Bob Shelton Stadium tomorrow night. Glenn and Eastview might be a de facto elimination game in that district as well. So I'm really intrigued by that Weiss Hendrickson game.
Yeah.
I think that could be really entertaining tomorrow night. And for a lot of teams, Billy, this is the halfway poll after tonight. A lot of teams that have not had or are not on their bye this week. This is week 5, and then we got Westlake actually the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, they
on
got
Thursday
two
night
Thursday games. Yeah.
Yeah, so this will be our last broadcast on Thursday nights for a couple of weeks. We will have some Friday games on KXAN Plus, including next Friday at Vandegrift, and that will be on Plus. And then in 2 weeks, we'll have another one from Georgetown. Get to see their guy Jet Walker in Georgetown on KXAN Plus in a few weeks.
The aptly named Jet Walker, the running back for Georgetown. Just tie up some loose ends here. Pflugerville Weiss, they are number 10 in the Class 5A Division I Dave Campbell's Texas football poll. So there's a little representation there for the Central Texas area. Alrighty, well, we will end this one here.
Well, you can still talk.
I feel give me. I mean, I've got my tea right here. Go Mariners, by the way. I've got my tea. I'll make it, Roger.
All right.
Anyway, we'll end this one here. Thanks so much for watching. For Roger Wallace, I'm Billy Gates, and we'll talk to you again soon.